Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benchmark Podcast. This is Brother Wolf here, and I'm joined with my brother. Say hi to everybody. Shout out to Rev, and then a big bag shark came.
I'm sorry about losing my composure. This is YNB Collins with the Benchmark Podcast.
And today we're going to talk about an interesting little movie trailer that just dropped during the NBA Finals weekend.
You sound mad about it.
Because I was sitting there chilling, watching my NBA Finals game that was going on. And, you know, they just had commercials. And NBA Finals...
You got to pay for it somehow.
NBA Finals is not like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, the Super Bowl has like these big name commercials, and you're expecting, you know, woo to get wild and amazed and everything like that. You know, you're expecting that, but you know, they dropped one on us in NBA Finals.
Who's us?
Anybody that was watching the NBA Finals, whereas, you know, we expecting some major b-ball and everything like that. Maybe some tennis shoe commercials, you know, maybe some, you know, gear commercials and everything like that. You get those. But then this thing right here comes up. Whatever you want to call this thing that just pops on there.
Why are you getting attitude with me?
Because they did this, all right?
So what that got to do with me?
You are the person that is listening to me right now talk about it. So I have, unlike my brother that has, according to him, not seen very many horror movies.
Wait. I haven't seen many movies. We know this. I just suck when it comes to movies.
But horror movies definitely, and you know, me and him talk all the time about the old days of Nightmare on Elm Street and certain, you know, horrible nightmares that we had from off of it.
Why do you talk about it fondly? Like a mass murderer in your dreams, and you're saying, "Remember the good old days?" I don't think that's how that works, bro.
So this happens, whereas, and I'm gonna cut to it. I'm not even gonna say the name of the movie. I'm not gonna say the name of the movie. I'm gonna put you in the same mind frame I was when the movie first came on. As a matter of fact, you're not even in the same mind frame I was, because I see a commercial. I see a commercial with a guy being loaded into a I called it a coma machine to my friend.
Not a damn
I'm gonna
MRI.
MRI machine. So he gets loaded into the MRI machine, and you know, the doctor puts him in there, and he's, you know, looking up at the machine, and it's Will Arnett, you know, a guy that we know from BoJack Horseman and everything like that. I love that show.
And he's Batman.
And so the thing is he's loaded into the machine. The machine starts up, and then all of a sudden you hear blackness. I know you're thinking in your mind, how can you hear blackness? But if you look at the commercial, you will understand what I mean. There is nothing but silence and darkness. And he's in the machine, and he knows something is wrong, because if you're in this type of machine, lights are supposed to be going off, you know, it's circling around you and everything like that. But instead, there's nothing but darkness. So he's looking, and he's thinking to himself, well, something's got to be wrong. So then he starts to hear a sound. And that sound starts to get closer and closer until finally this big cross-eyed with a comb over.
Incorrect. Cockeyed motherfucker with a comb over
starts running up the machine, crawling up the machine towards him. And I have to say, even though I'm a grown man, I went, ah! And what was in my hand flew up in the sky.
And how bad did my godsons laugh at you?
They ran down. They were like, Dad, what happened? What happened? I was like, trauma.
Are they old enough to spell trauma?
Yeah, they know how to spell charcuterie boards.
You mean Lunchables?
Yes. So I had to show this scene to my brother, and he got more of a warning for it than me because I didn't even get a warning it was for a horror movie. I thought, well, maybe Will Arnett is in a comedy. Maybe he's in an action. Maybe something like that is going. Maybe it's dramatic. Maybe he doesn't know what he's about to find out.
Wait. Let me pause you for a second. You realize the main character is not Will Arnett, right?
Yes, I do.
I'm just saying, it's not Will Arnett.
So the main character is Patrick Wilson. I'm sorry, but I didn't even know it was Patrick Wilson when I first saw the commercial. I said this is a guy in a MRI machine.
No, coma machine. Say what you said.
Coma machine. That may
You are the reason why American healthcare sucks.
I thought that was the reason why the public school system sucks. Anyway.
Column A and column B. You can be two. You can be more than one.
So the point is that he all of a sudden, is in the machine about to find out. Well, he did find out some bad news, but I said, well, it is a MRI machine. Maybe he's about to find out some bad news. Maybe
he got some bad news. He came straight up the chute. Straight up the chute.
So all of a sudden, I get in the realization after I see this big thing, cross-eyed motherfucker. Cockeyed. Running up the machine towards him. And after the initial jolt, I realized, wait, Will Arnett plays Patrick Wilson in the Insidious series, and it all came together. It came together like that. But it took me a second for me to realize that, holy crap, this is a horror movie trailer. This is not just a drama, action, or a comedy trailer or something like that. Because honestly, with Will Arnett, it could be any of those things.
It's Patrick Wilson, not Will Arnett. That's the guy's name.
So yes, so that's what I'm saying. So
no. Let's be real here. You were trying to scare me. That's what you did.
They did that to me.
What did we learn about Samara? You don't pass the curse on. You just take your L, and that's it.
The point is...
No, that's not... The point is, you tried to show me what you call, quote-unquote, Will Arnett in the middle of a coma machine. Like, in the MRI machine, the lights go out. He's getting scared. Hey, man, let me out. I don't like what's going on. Mm-hmm. Then he hears... Pitter-patter, pitter-patter.
Mm-hmm.
Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Now, mind you, one of my favorite movies of all time, 1986, James Cameron, Aliens. The scene where they realize they're in the vents and they look up and they're losing their shit. I already know. Small enclosed spaces. Storm has claustrophobia for a reason. Let's be real. When I hear that, I'm like, oh no, something's coming to get him. And then this big, cockeyed, comb-over, Captain Spaulding Devil's Rejects motherfucker is coming to look at you. What he's trying to tell you is what my reaction was, not his reaction. He jumped like a bitch. I jumped like a bitch too, but I was threatening in my mannerisms.
Do you want to tell them what you said your defense mechanism to this would be?
I did the Uncle Ruckus. Excuse me, I couldn't hear you on the side of me shitting myself. Like, am I lying? You're stuck. First off, you're in the hospital gown. Say what you want, but credit
that is one of the most vulnerable moments you will ever be in.
Credit to Will Smith in Fresh Prince when he put both of them on to make sure there wasn't any hangage. Is that the right? I don't even know.
It was invented that day. It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go ahead and do all that. So you sitting there, ass cheeks on this cold metal. You don't know whose crusted cheeks have been on this before. Then all of a sudden you hear pitter patter, pitter patter, and the lights are out. You already not having a good day. You already have been haunted for most of your life. You got somebody thinking you Will Arnett. Just add down the list of what's going wrong. Then all of a sudden, what I believe is the hillbilly equivalent of Fleece Johnson comes running up the chute. I like you, and I want you. Oh no, I have nothing positive. Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
Because you said you would immediately shit in his immediate direction.
It's already coming, so I may as well use it as a defense mechanism. You tell him, okay, so I'm the only one.
No.
Intern, put the small trailer in so that way people can see this. In the show notes, go ahead and find it's like a 30-second Insidious trailer. Insidious the Red Door. Mm-hmm. Look up this trailer and tell me if you're not in the MRI machine and something's crawling up the chute looking for your chute. You telling me you're not going to do whatever flows downhill? Come on.
I'm sorry. All of a sudden, I'm thinking Castle Crashers when you fight the boss. All of a sudden, keep shitting throughout the entire board. And you have to follow him with that going on.
Oh, no. I don't want to know. But, so the benchmark I'm getting at is, number one, it's not Coma Machine.
Well, the benchmark I'm getting at is number two, be ready for the unexpected, because goddamn.
It's going to be a final. So is that why the Heat lost?
Yes.
Okay.
Dun-dun-dun.
So Insidious the Red Door is why the Miami Heat are not winning. That's what you're putting money on? That's what you're going to Caesar's playbook?
Hey, I can't help it. Yeah. There is no defense against that.
So there's no defense. You keep calling the man Will Arnett.
First of all, in that position, as long as I get the fuck away from him, I'm going to call him a bunch of names. Will Arnett is going to probably be the most kind one of them.
Touche. I'll give you that one. It's like the telepath conversation. I'll give you that one. That's an automatic win, no? So I guess my concern is this. Why is it? First off, I want to give credit to Blumhouse for always finding a way to make the horror more accessible. Because I'm not a horror fan, but I've seen a few Blumhouse movies. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, they managed to find when you're at your most vulnerable, but you're still an adult in control of your faculties and there's nothing you can do about it. That's where they succeed. Like, what's the trope, being the white girl in the woods where you trip? Mm-hmm. When Jason did that when the FBI agent tripped, and he's like, oh, this was easy. I'm going to go home in time for dinner. Right. And he lifted that knife up, and them spotlights came on, and you saw a sugar cookie.
I mean, the thing is, in Blumhouse film, that you don't have to trip. You get got regardless.
Like, I'll say it like this. The scariest horror movie scene of all time was not in a horror movie. And I'm waiting for Blumhouse to figure out a way to incorporate it. Lethal Weapon 2.
When he was I know what you're talking about now. The look on Murtaugh was
Riggs and Murtaugh. So
Murtaugh. Look on Murtaugh's face when he looked at Riggs, and he was like,
"Boom."
He gave him that look before Riggs grabbed his hand and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to get off of here." And Murtaugh was like, "Riggs."
I gave him
he didn't say the words. He just looked directly at him. And Riggs understood. As crazy as Riggs was, Riggs understood cleanly.
So for those who don't understand, back when Mel Gibson was palatable,
right,
the Lethal Weapon franchise was pretty solid. It had some great action, some great writing, some scary scenes. And what ended up happening was
Lethal Weapon 2.
Riggs and Murtaugh. So Danny Glover is Murtaugh, Riggs is Gibson. So Murtaugh goes home, and he does what everybody does. You get home, relax, let me use the bathroom before I go about the rest of my day. He sits on the toilet, does what he has to do, and then all of a sudden, when he goes to roll the toilet paper, he sees a handwritten note that says, boom. And then he looks over, and he sees the telltale beeping and the flashing of the LED light, you know there's a bomb stuck to the damn toilet. And it isn't until Riggs comes in the house, because he's just, it's like the sitcom family member who comes in, and he ends up saving him. Because he has a cast iron tub, that's number one.
Yeah.
And number two, that was one of the in the sanctity of your, I can't take a dump.
Right.
So if there for Dogma, the excremental, the Golgothan, if there's a shit demon out there waiting to catch me down bad when I'm using the toilet, I have nothing but negativity for you.
Right.
That is some horrible shit, pun intended.
And that's the thing is, I was telling my brother about this, is the series Insidious is almost a fallback to the old Poltergeist movies. And he said, well, he didn't see the Poltergeist movies, which I understand. I saw the Poltergeist movies. It was a big part of my childhood. So one of the things about the Poltergeist movie was the fact that the little girl in the movie, Carol Ann, was a conduit for the spirits into the real world. If they got her, they could use her to bring themselves into the real world. She was a medium, a really strong medium. And so what happens is they would no longer need to communicate through other sources. They could just freely flow into the world through her. And then they could use that to sow all kinds of chaos, fear, death, destruction, and everything.
So
like
I
that.
guess the question I have is this. I understand maybe I'm a little bit too naive, and I thought, Casper was the de jour ghost. Why were the ghosts in Poltergeist so angry?
Well, they believed in this father, this priest kind of
Some religious man?
that told them that if essentially he was a Jim Jones kind of guy. He
caused the price of Kool-Aid to fall?
something like that. But he told them one thing about going into, going into, paradise and living and, forever and everything like that. But essentially he led them all to their death, and a horrible death at that. So they were pissed off because they died horribly, these people.
Oh, so revenge.
Yeah, essentially it was revenge, not just on him, but on just the idea of the fact that why do these people get to live while I died so horribly, And so essentially Insidious takes that same idea and modernizes it. And it changes it from being a little girl to a little boy. The difference was Poltergeist, the Poltergeist movies had to end early. I don't know if you know this, but
Wasn't there 3 of them?
yes, but it wasn't supposed to just be a 3-movie saga. What happened was, curiously enough, after each Poltergeist movie, a cast member died.
You mean like worse than Brandon Lee and The Crow?
I mean, like, they died through extenuating circumstances. The first one, I believe it was, I'm not sure if the first one, the daughter died or the medium died.
I thought you said the daughter was the medium.
Well, no. Oh, okay, so there was a medium that was trying to help them in the first movie. I'm not sure if they were trying to help them in the second movie too, or if they had died by the time of the second movie. But the older daughter, either the medium died in the first movie or the older daughter died. Well, not in the movie, but in real life. After the movie.
Why don't you just use Siri to look it up and scare the hell out of me in real life too?
I could do that, but the point is after each movie, a cast member had died. Before they got a chance to make the fourth movie, the little girl that played Carol Ann had died. Yeah, so that was part of the reason why they had to end the series. Now, Insidious actually.
Is that your
So now Insidious actually, but with it, they're actually getting to fully fledge out this storyline in which I think this would have been where Poltergeist would have went.
So you're just saying this is the spiritual successor?
It is. It truly is. If you look at the the comparison in between the stories. They're using this boy who started out as a boy in the first movie. Eventually, by this now being the fifth movie, it is now a grown man essentially. And what's happened is these ghosts are still looking for that connection. I say ghosts, but by this point, since they've been harboring these emotions and these feelings towards the living for so long, they've become demons. But they're looking for that connection to bridge them into the regular world, so that they can, feel free to do whatever it is in which they normally had done. So,
So I'm gonna ask the dumb question. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert. In Insidious, the main antagonist is the red-faced demon, the lipstick demon. Was he killed horribly and led astray and hoodwinked and bamboozled, or is he just an ass?
he is actually the person that led the others into the death that they ran into. So it's the same trope almost from Poltergeist, whereas the primary ghost that was after Carol Ann was the father, the priest, because it was his way of coming full on the prophecy of showing them, see, I brought y'all through it, and this is going to be y'all paradise. Y'all able to wreak havoc on the living.
Okay, so he's an ass. He's in the bad guy category. Okay,
Right.
cool. Just wanted to make sure.
So that's the whole connection, is that I see this as being a successor to that, and I see this as possibly being the ending to that series, in which, if it is, it's been quite a series. I know Insidious 1 and 2, me and my family found, well, I say me and the older kids in my family, I'm sorry, and my wife, we found exhilarating and thrilling in the first two movies.
Why people? I guess I have enough problems in my life already, but why? I've never the
You've never
psychology.
understood why people seek that thrill, that feeling.
Basically,
I understand completely what you mean. I think, and there are times in which I don't have that feeling either. Like we all know, me. I was one of those people who playing Resident Evil like 3, and Nemesis knocks down the freaking wall, and I'm like, and
running like a big dog. I want what you got.
I mean, thank goodness I had the wherewithal to pause the game before I walk off.
I mean, I'm waiting for the successor for Eternal Darkness to come out. That's what I'm waiting for. That game, by far, was one of the best horror tropes in the stories we heard of people breaking their TVs, breaking their controllers, losing. I'm waiting to see that come back to fruition. But yeah,
I mean, you talk about horror movie situations, but a horror game with situation, I feel, would be that, imagine if you press pause and it doesn't actually pause the game during the wrong moment. Like that, I would think that would be, and I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet in a video game.
I want to wonder if that happened during Eternal Darkness. I know
I don't think it happened during it. I think in Eternal Darkness it was a situation whereas maybe. No, I don't think it actually happened like that, because I want to say maybe they paused it, and so something is off when they pause the game, and then you look at it and you're like, I didn't press the pause button.
So Eternal Darkness should go down as one of the most innovative video games in history.
It was a cerebral thriller.
Yeah,
It
very
really
much
was.
so. The game, if it's Lovecraftian in nature, and what ends up happening is the game had certain effects where when you would do a triggering event, the event would actually start making you believe it actually started fiddling with the actual device itself. So let's say you grab the key off the pedestal. Well, all of a sudden, the darkness starts changing. Like the game should go ahead and show the darkness would start changing on the TV. You'd grab your remote trying to change it, and you'd actually be altering. So when the game loaded back up, you'd lose. Just YouTube Eternal Darkness GameCube. You'll see all the goofy videos and how what's the word I'm looking for? Mind-blowing it was for the time.
I mean, if you want to talk about, psychological, I think even before Eternal Darkness, you wouldn't know this because you're not a big fan. But in Metal Gear Solid, they had the Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis with the second controller.
Yeah,
that
like-
one. As much as I can't stand Metal Gear, that by far is one of the best ways. And if it wasn't for the fact that was in the game, you wouldn't have beat that one. You would.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where first he has control of the first he takes control of the controller, then he deletes
the memory card, right?
Well, no. First he takes control of the controller, whereas he is moving the controller. The way how you get over that is you switch controllers to the second controller.
The second port, yeah.
Yeah. Then after that doesn't work, later on in the fight, what he does is he deletes whatever memory card was in spot 1. So the only way around that is to use the memory card that was in spot 2. So yeah, the Psycho Mantis fight is one of those first. If you ask me, it was one of those first takes into psychological game warfare.
Now I will say before that is X-Men on the Genesis, Stage 5, Mojo's World. The things that's severe about this is now you're further into the game. First stage, I forgot who he beat in the first stage, but like third stage was Apocalypse. Fourth stage was Ahab, and then fifth stage was Mojo's World, and Mojo was like in the middle of the stage. So you beat Mojo. He's actually not that hard, but the thing is, there's some unforgiving jumps. So if you don't make the jumps, you're losing characters really quickly, and you can only switch X-Men once.
Right.
So that's that's 2 problems right there. You finally get to the point, and what we know is the Danger Room has been infected with a virus. And they keep saying, reset the console, reset the console, reset the console. So you finally get all the way to the part and the game won't scroll anymore, and you see this big screen. So your character attacks it, and nothing happens. And the timer just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Now the timer's in the red, and Professor X sends you a message, reset the console, reset the console. And I would always die. It wasn't until Tips and Tricks later comes out and says, you have to get up off your tuchus, walk over to the Genesis, and press reset on the console, which allows the game to go ahead and proceed to stage 6 to go to Avalon and fight Magneto. First example I've ever seen of that, not Psycho Mantis, even though Psycho Mantis was good with it. Because deleting your data, there's a special place in hell for you. There's a special place in hell for you.
I still remember there was this video before. There were a bunch of them of scrolling on not on the Clock app and also on YouTube. This guy that continues. Him and his girl get into a fight. They get into an argument, and what she does is she goes in and she deletes his data on all of his games. And like all of the female gamers are like, if you do that to me, they'll still be finding your body parts, and everything like that. So, it makes me laugh, when I think about that in the psychological, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. He's showing we got a little bit off topic, and he's showing further of the thing. And the worst thing is it's kind of because of the way it's looking, and that one scene, he has it in slow-mo running, and the guy's face is kind of like shared between 2 different frames in the one scene. So it definitely...
We're back on Insidious for those who haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
I've put the trailer on, and it's very slow-mo, and all you see is feet, and he's at the base of your feet, and he looks like you are a pork chop, and he wanted pork chops for dinner.
and my brother is like, shit, it's what's for dinner.
Not me. You better fuck over that nonsense. But no, he looks like... You know what the worst part about it is? Not the fact that some horrible creature is running up the coma machine to go ahead and touch you in your secret no-no place, like Freddie did Jazzy Jeff. This looks like this is not his... The worst part is... He's done this before.
Like, this is not his first
rodeo.
This
is not his first rodeo.
He has gotten others before this exact same way.
And more importantly, he's probably mad he's not going to get full experience for this.
I mean, do you remember in freaking in Zombieland, the guy that is in the urinal in the freaking bathroom.
Oh, when the clown does it? I jumped for that. I jumped. I can't. That's why I said I can't take a dump in peace. Some things are sanctity.
I mean, in the fact how your boy is just like it with Zombieland. I can't remember what's the character's name.
Columbus and Tallahassee.
Yeah. So Columbus is the
Tallahassee is Woody Harrelson. Jesse
Yeah,
Eisenberg is Columbus.
So Columbus is like cardio is so important, and also you have to know
Rule 1, Rule 2, cardio and double tap.
Cardio and double tap, but also with coming with the bathroom scene, he's like, yeah, you got to make sure to lock all doors at all times.
I see no fault in his logic.
Exactly. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a horror movie that I am not relishing the fact of my wife telling me to go see with her.
So wait, I have a better question for you. Why are certain letters red in the title?
I don't know if anybody can go ahead and state that why in
I'm not trying to cheat and look it up.
Right. In each Insidious title, there are certain parts of it that are red. And this one, it is the S and the I in the word Insidious. And
rephrase. It is the second, is the first S and the second I. So in SI, the SI is red. Then in the red door, red is red as well. So see red, yes red. I'm missing something.
Right. I've known previously in other ones, it matched the color of the demon,
Yes.
the red, and that's the only thing that I can think. But I am completely I'm not exactly sure about that. So if anybody knows, definitely send us a message about it. But yeah, I know my brother won't see it, but I probably will.
What
be
you trying to
forced
say, man?
I probably will be forced to see it. Well, you and maybe somebody special in your life might go see it. I'm just saying.
I'm going to see The Blackening.
Yeah, I'm going to see The Blackening.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That and Meth Gator, because I already saw Cocaine Bear.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen Cocaine Bear yet.
You need to see it. It is the waste of time that you want.
I mean, any movie with Felicity in it, I normally go ahead and go check.
Her name is not. Rev Ross is literally being channeled right now. You chump. Neither here nor there. Is it closing time?
I think it's closing time.
Got me looking around my back for people going ahead and trying to. Nah. I'm going to sleep with my crucifix.
Shoot, you ain't the one with the doggone door open, the blackness going on.
You talk to Charlie Murphy all you want. With that said, it's YNB Collins and
Brother Wolf here.
Signing off for the Benchmark Podcast, where I don't know what today's benchmark is, but
be ready for anything.
Make sure you have your rosary and your holy water minimum, right?
Right.
Be good, y'all.
Thank you for listening to the Benchmark Podcast, a product of Benchmark Media, LLC, where we always attempt to establish a positive benchmark. We would like to remind everyone that the views and opinions expressed are strictly the views and opinions of each individual, and those views do not reflect the stance of Benchmark Media. Any opinion stated is not to be construed as professional advice or help. Please contact a professional for any help you may require. We would like to thank all of our guests for today and also for contributions of our listening family. Remember to contact us at therealbenchmarkpodcast@gmail.com or www.therealbenchmarkpodcast.com. Or you can follow us on social media, Facebook, or Instagram. And if you'd like to be a friend of the show, you can donate to us on our PayPal.
You can give me a drink.
All rights reserved by Benchmark Media, LLC.